Hey everybody, this is Danny with Legendary Muscle, and today I'm here with Bob and his 1986 Grand National. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
So, Bob, this car is a true survivor. When I saw you at one of the car shows, I had to come up and speak with you because it's very rare to see a car this old looking as bone stock as it is. And sometimes the cars, when they come bone stock, you know, there's a lot of people that customize them. And it's good to see customized cars, but it's also good to remember what they used to look like back in the day when they came off the floor. So, I mean, thank you for bringing it over. And tell me, how did you get this car? I mean, how long have you had it actually?
Well, it was in 1995 I bought it. My wife had a daily driver with a 1958 Biscayne, and it was really a bear to drive, so I said, I'm going to buy you a new car. I actually bought it for myself, I think, but she did actually daily drive it to work for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, okay. So, win-win situation, right?
For me it was, yes.
So, when you got it, did it look bone stock still, or was this something that you had to put together?
This is exactly like it is today.
Okay.
Yeah, like the buyer really kept good care of it. It had 50,000 miles on it.
Okay. How many miles do you have on it now?
It's got almost 100,000.
Okay. Still the original engine and everything, huh?
Yes, original drivetrain, everything.
Okay. So I know these cars, when they came out, they came out as the Regal, I believe, right? And then they decided they wanted to, I guess, bump the Regal up a little or something like that?
Yes, yeah. It was Lloyd Roos was the CEO of GM at that time, and he was a bit of a hot rodder, and
okay.
He wanted Buick to have something that, you know, Chevrolet had the Corvette, and Olds had the 442, and the Pontiac had the Bonneville, and so.
So these cars, they actually gave a little bit of a headache to Corvettes at one point, right?
Oh yeah, they were heads up with the Corvette. Corvette was 230 horsepower, and this was 235.
Okay.
But these were quicker.
Yeah. And I remember back in the day, I mean, I used to look at, because G-bodies, they've come a long way, and they've gained a lot of popularity as well. But I remember when I was a kid, you know, you'd see the G-bodies, but they were the granny ones.
Yes.
The Cutlass with the cushiony top, the wire spoke wheels, and I never really liked them.
I didn't either. That's why
until I started seeing Monte Carlos and Grand Nationals and GNXs and whatnot. Then I'm like, okay, that looks a lot better. So, what kind of suspension does this car have on it? Do you know? It's got
a like a 3-link in the back. It's a little different than the normal Regal.
Mm-hmm. And I see you still kept, thank God, the original rims off of it and everything. Now there's another model of this one, the T-type, right?
Yes, they made T-types.
Mm-hmm. So what were the difference between the T-types?
There was an option in colors on those. The Grand Nationals were all black, but you could get different interiors. You could actually get velour interior on them, like the granny cars.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And a lot of them were column shift with not bucket seats. Mm-hmm. So there was several options, but the drivetrain was the same.
Okay, so it's just based on trim level and preference. Yep. Okay.
And they were a little cheaper.
Oh, okay, so they were cheaper even.
Yeah, the Grand Nationals they were rebadged, and they raised the price.
Yeah. So did these ever come with T-tops?
They did, especially the Grand Nationals. I had a friend that had one.
Oh, okay. That's pretty sweet though. And I see you still have your original interior. You see the little logos on there, with the logos for the turbos, right?
That's came from the factory like that. And the floor mats had the same logos, and they're on the rims too.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty much an insignia.
Turbo 6, yeah.
And your interior is pretty much all original. There was nothing ever changed in it?
Nothing ever changed. No.
Okay. No, so I know a lot of people, you know, the interior starts to rot away and everything, but this car actually was kept pretty good, huh?
Yeah, my wife kind of takes care of that.
Thank you, wife, for cleaning the car. Anyway, I'm seeing the little bulge on the hood and everything. You think we could have a look in there? What engine does this come with again?
It's a 231 cubic inch. It's a 3.8 liter.
Okay. Turboed, I see.
Yeah, it has the original Garrett turbo on it. It's a small one. It's only 49 millimeter.
Yeah, okay.
But it kind of done the job. The motor is, it's a low compression motor, 9-to-1, but
okay,
that's for the turbo boost.
Gotcha. So does this like run off of your normal regular fuel, or do you have to put premium in it?
You can run it on 87, but it, if you're gonna be in the turbo, they recommend 91.
And these little turbos, they were still pretty quick though. I mean,
yeah,
they did wake up the engine.
They're small, they boost pretty quick. It's got also a Garrett intercooler on it. It's air-to-air.
Okay, so these already came intercooled.
Intercooled and turbocharged.
Okay.
86 was the first year with the intercooler.
Okay, yeah. Because like I think they started putting turbos on these engines. What was it, like in '79 in the Regals?
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah. The turbo was in the back on those. They called them hot air cars because they didn't have the intercooler.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Which with the intercooler, obviously now they run a lot better.
Yes. Yes.
So what kind of transmission does this have?
This has a 4-speed with a lockup. It's a 204R.
Okay.
And it's got a 3.42 gear ratio positive traction rear end.
Okay, so
that was an option though, the positive traction.
Oh, it was?
If you got one of these without it, you were you're wasting a lot of right rear tires.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of wasting rear tires, what do you say we take this for a spin?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So yeah, your car inside, it's as clean as it is outside. Nice original. It's got that 80s vibe to it, obviously.
Yeah, it's a G-body deal.
Yeah. So Grand National, I mean, how did that come?
It's actually a tribute to NASCAR. Darrell Waltrip was driving a Buick Regal, and he won a couple of championships in the early '80s, and so that's why Lloyd Roos was the CEO of General Motors, and he was kind of a hot rodder guy, and he said, "Let's do this Grand National."
Yeah, I mean, these G-bodies, you see them everywhere, from the Monte Carlos to the Cutlass, and everybody has their little kick-ass G-body. Chevy had their Monte Carlo SS, the Cutlass had the 442, right? The Hearst one.
Yes.
And Buick had the Grand National, but they also had a better one after this one, huh?
They did. The last year, they had McLaren built 547. They called them Grand National X, GNX.
GNXs.
And they were $10,000 option, but they had more horsepower.
And they'd give some headaches up to the Porsches and Ferraris and whatnot, huh?
They were the fastest production car, yeah.
That's crazy.
During the whole 80s.
And at that time, I think it was like $29,000 back then.
Yes,
to get
they
one?
were 10,000 more. They were, just under 30,000.
In today's money, it'd run around close to $80,000, I think, in today's money.
That's right, yeah.
So that's pretty crazy for a car like that. But I mean, they're light cars due to the little V6 engine it has, right? I mean, they're not front end that heavy, and they got the nice turbo in them. And McLaren, they were putting different turbos on them, right?
They had a bigger turbo, yeah. They had a 4-link in the back and bigger sway bars.
All right, so it was more equipped to be like, it was actually the last calling of the muscle car era for the G-bodies.
It was. They went to front-wheel drive in 1988.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just, these are great platforms. I mean, we had another guy on our show. His name was Ramon. He also has love for G-bodies, and he wanted to do his as a Grand Touring, and it worked it's a platform that can be used for various types of racing.
Actually, a family car. This was a daily driver for us. So.
Oh yeah. And they also made at one point, Regal's also had station wagons at one point.
They did.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I saw the picture in your garage and it showed this car on the track. So out of all the time you've had it, you've also taken it to the track, huh?
Yes, I did a little hot rodding in my younger days.
Mm-hmm. So what were you running?
The best I'd done was 1370, about 102 mile an hour.
And we're talking about normal tires, not slicks or anything, huh?
That's just, yeah, that's correct. Want to race that Porsche?
Right. That'd be a good one to race. But yeah, these things, I mean, 80s was a horrible time for U.S. car manufacturers because
we didn't have too much to be proud of in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any car manufacturer in the U.S. did because we were coming out with all these smog regulations and everything.
Yeah.
And it was just killing our V8s and killing all of our engines. And I mean, the Japanese had it down to a science, but we were still getting familiarized with, you know, how to get an engine to go fast and not be pollutant. But I mean, we love the gas guzzlers.
Yes.
Oh, wow, and it picks up so nicely. I mean, you've really taken care of this car, and that's a great thing, man. Because these cars are already hard to come by as it is, and like I said before, to find one that hasn't been molested or hasn't been altered or anything, it's a rare thing to find. Because usually the first thing that goes on these cars are the rims.
Yes, that's true.
They'll put different rims on it and they'll lower it and whatnot. And like I said before, that's good, you know.
Yeah.
But you need some history to look at sometimes too, you know. Like, it's nice to see a G-body that's altered, but also nice to see one as it came off the factory line.
Yeah, back in the day.
Especially when they're like this ones, you know. But you say you've driven this car quite a bit. You put like what 50,000 miles on since you've had it. Now, have you taken it out of state, or you drove it from where you used to live before?
Yeah, I drove it from Michigan to down here to Florida.
Mm-hmm. And how was the drive?
It was awesome. Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Just a little noisy with the mufflers.
Yeah, it's not too noisy compared to some cars I've been in. There, it's not
Yeah.
bad for a long trip. And what kind of gas mileage do you get out of this thing?
It'll get like 22 miles to gallon on the highway.
22 on the highway.
If you stay out of the turbo.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Right? I mean, it sounds so nice. Why not? Okay, so anyway, I really appreciate this time you've given us, Bob. Keep up the good work with this car. Keep it running.
Yeah, it's going to be a family hand-me-down. I have two, a son and a daughter, and they both like their cars. So.
Oh, that's good. Well, anyway, we've got to go now. Do you have any special shout-out you want to give to somebody?
Yeah, I belong to the Ocala Cruisers.
Okay.
And they're really a fun club to belong to, and anybody in the Ocala area should join them if they want to have a good time at a car club.
Right. So the Ocala Street Cruisers, right? Ocala Street Cruisers, right?
Yep, Ocala Street Cruisers.
All right. So you guys heard it. Look them up on their website. I'm pretty sure you can find them on Facebook. And from Bob to Danny, have a good one.